शलाकया चक्षुरुन्मीलितं येन
टांग
तस्मै
मिला ना?
श्रीगुरुवे
मेरे को डबल आवाज इधर से इधर।
नमः स्थापितं येन भूतले स्वयं रूपा गदा मह्यं ददाति स्वपदान्तिकम्। हे कृष्णा कर्ण सिंधु दीनबंधु जगतपते गोपेश गोपिका कांता राधा कांता नमस्तुते। सप्त कांचन गौरंगी राधे वृंदावनेश्वरी वृषभानुसुते देवी प्रणमामि हरिप्रियै। जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंदा श्री अद्वैत गदाधर शिवसादि गौर भक्तवृंदा। हरे कृष्णा कृष्ण कृष्ण हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे. So what are the 6 urges one has to control? Rupa Goswami Prabhupada said in order to be able to make the disciples all over the world. What are the 6 urges? Yes, please raise your hand.
Each. Okay.
The co-host. Okay. Okay, Madhavi Mataji, you tell me 2.
Can you hear me, Mataji? Because I can't see you.
You can't see me.
No, video I've lost. Anyways, I can talk. Am I audible? Yeah.
Mataji, you are fine. We are able to see you, Mataji.
Yeah. It is first urges of the mind and the senses. 2 you said, right? Anger.
The urge to
Mind, anger.
Okay.
Speech.
Okay. Thank you.
2 only you said, no?
Yes, 2 out of the 6. Okay. So she says anger and mind. Who else will tell me more? Roja Mataji.
Hare Krishna Mataji.
Can you go in sequence? Can you go for Rupa Goswami Prabhupada?
Yeah. It is Vacho Vegam, Manasaha Vegam, Krodha Vegam, Jihva Vegam, Udaropastha Vegam, and yeah.
So what are they? Translate it to Hindi or English.
Speech. One is of speech, and then the urge of mind, and then the anger, and our tongue, and the belly, and the genitals.
Very nice. Very nice. I'm gonna mute everyone. Okay, so today we are going to read some of the things which are antagonist to the execution of Krishna consciousness. Who would like to read? There are so many hands raised. I'm just going to lower those hands. And
Mataji, can I read?
Vibha, sure, you can start. And I want everyone to take turns to chant. So be ready to chant. Like you can raise your hand if you want to chant after Vibha chants.
अत्यभरा प्रयशश्च प्रजल्पो नियमग्रह जनासङ्गश्च लौल्यं च सद्भिर्भक्तिर्विनश्यति.
Okay, thank you, Vibha. So Atyahara prayayascha prajalpo niyam agraha janasangascha lolyam cha shadvir bhaktir vinashyati. Yes, Uma Mataji, please go ahead.
हरे कृष्ण माताजी. अत्याधारा प्रयासश्च प्रजल्पो नियमाग्रह जनासंगाश्च लौल्यं च सद्भिर्भक्तिर्विनश्यति.
Very nice. Hare Krishna. Who else would like to chant? Any of the co-hosts?
Hare Krishna.
Yes, Sharmila Mataji. Yes, Sharmila Mataji.
अत्याहारः प्रयासश्च प्रजल्पो नियमाग्रहः जनसंगश्च लौल्यं च सद्भिर्भक्तिर्विनश्यति.
Very nice. Sakshi Mataji.
Yes, Mataji. Hare Krishna. अत्याहरा परस्यश्च प्रजल्लोनियम् अग्रह जनासंगा च लौल्यं च सद्भिर्भक्ति विनश्यति.
Vinashyati. Very nice. Your voice is so nice. Aishwarya.
Hare Krishna Mataji.
Hare Krishna.
अत्याहार प्रयशश्च प्रजल्पो नियमाग्रहः जनासंगश्च लौल्यं च शक्तिर्भक्तिर्विनश्यति.
Thank you. Very nice. Sapna. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
अत्याहारः प्रयाश्च प्रजल्पो नियमाग्रहः जनासंगाश्च लौल्यं च सद्भिर्भक्तिर्विनश्यति.
Very nice. Jigna Mataji.
Yeah, Mataji, 1 minute. अत्याचार प्रयासस्य प्रजल्यपो नियमाग्रह जनडस्य लुल्यस्य षड् बिर्भकृत विनश्यति. Sorry, Mataji, I'm not that good.
नहीं गुड की बात नहीं है. जना संगश्च लौल्यम च.
Okay, जना संगश्च लौल्यम च सदभिर्भक्तिर विनायसति.
Shadbhir. We say Shadbhir because it's 6, doing these 6 things. Very nice. Thank you, Mataji. Vandana Sharma Mataji.
Hare Krishna Mataji.
Hare Krishna.
Atyahara prayascha prajalpo niyamagraha janasanghascha laulyam cha shadbhir bhaktir vinashyati.
Very nice. Thank you, Mataji. Reshma Mataji.
Hare Krishna Mataji.
Hare Krishna.
Atyahara prayasascha prajalpo niyamagraha jana sangascha laulyam cha shadbhir bhaktir vinashyati.
Very nice. Thank you. Dyuti Mataji. Dyuti De Mataji.
Hare Krishna Mataji. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay, Mataji. Atyahara prayasascha prajalpo niyam graha jana sangascha laulyam cha sadabhir bhakti nashyati. Thank you, Mataji.
Who is unmuted? Please mute yourself when one devotee is singing. Yes, Sirisha Mataji.
Hare Krishna Mataji.
Hare Krishna.
Atyahara prayasascha prajalpo niyamagraha jana sangrascha laulyam cha shad bhaktir vinashyati.
Thank you,
Hare
Mataji.
Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Umak Mataji, then Vijay Kannan Mataji.
Atyahara prayasascha
Yeah.
prajalpo
Hare Krishna
niyamagraha
Mataji.
janasangascha laulyascha shadbir vikta vinasyati. Hare Krishna Mataji.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna
Yes,
Mataji.
Vijay Kannan Mataji. Hare Krishna.
Atyahara prayasascha prajalpo niyamagraha janasangascha laulyam cha sadbir bhaktir vinashyati.
Very nice. Thank you. Dr. Indira Mataji.
Hare Krishna Mataji.
Hare Krishna.
Atyahara prayasascha prajalpo niyamagraha janasangascha laulyascha shadbhir bhaktir vinashyati.
Thank you, Mataji. So each line has 2 of the prohibitions. Atyahara prayascha. Prayascha. So these are 2. Then prajalpo niyamagraha, another 2. Then jana sangascha laulyam cha, another 2. So these total become 6. Shadbhir means 6. Bhaktir means execution of Krishna consciousness or devotional service. Vinashyati means is destroyed. Okay, thank you. Yes, let's go. Vibha, was it Vibha? Yeah, Vibha, you were reading, right?
Yes. Yes, Mataji.
Go ahead.
One's devotional service is spoiled when he becomes too entangled in the following 6 activities: eating more than necessary or collecting more funds than required, over-endeavoring for mundane things that are very difficult to obtain, talking unnecessarily about the mundane subject matters, practicing the scriptural rules and regulations only for the sake of the following them and not for the sake of spiritual advancement, or rejecting the rules and regulations of the scriptures and working independently or whimsically, associating with worldly minded persons who are not interested in Krishna consciousness, and being greedy for mundane achievements.
Gayatri Mataji, what people are waiting in another link? 14 people are waiting in another link. What is that link? Mataji, can you unmute, please? Tell me. Yes, Mataji.
I'm trying to send this link to there. You had sent the link in Govinda this morning around 11 o'clock. I think there was another link sent later in the evening. I went to that. There were about 18 people, 14 to 18 people. Now I'm just trying to send this link to those people so they can join here.
Admins in Govinda, can you please clarify the message? What she's saying that please come to this link and not to anywhere else. Sita Mataji, will you be able to send in Govinda? I don't know who else is in Govinda.
Mataji, we all are there, Mataji. See, there
Okay.
are two things, Mataji. One thing was on the Bhagavad Gita link and the other one is on this link. So people would have got confused and clicked that link. So they have to realize and come back at 3 o'clock. We'll send anyway, we'll send it now.
The clarification message. Thank you
Sure.
so much. Thank you. Okay, thank you, Gayatri Mataji.
Okay.
Okay. Okay, we are going to read about each one of these 6 things. So atyahara means overeating or collecting too much. So 2 meanings are there. Prayascha means over and just croaking of a toad like that. Niyam agraha means 2 meanings again. Niyam agraha and niyam agraha means one is enthusiastically following the rules and regulation, another is not following them at all. Jana sangas means associating with worldly minded people. Lalya means greedy. So by doing these 3 things, the execution of devotional services destroyed. So let's read Purport by His Divine Grace Srila Prabhupada. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Okay, who would like to read? Anyone from the audience? Ramani Mataji, you read yesterday. Pankaj Apte Prabhu is also very active. Anyone who has not read and participated yet?
May I, Mataji?
Who is speaking?
Dr. Vidisha. Vidisha.
You are in the COVID duty room?
No, I completed today in the morning, so I'm completely in the class today.
Okay, Tika. You can start and then Sri Lakshmi will do the next and Geeta Mataji will do the. Okay, go ahead,
Okay.
Mataji, please.
Hare Krishna, Mataji.
Hare Krishna.
Just a second.
1 second, Vidisha Mataji. Admins, can you please resend the links in all the groups? All of our groups. Thank you. Go ahead, Mataji.
Okay. Human life is meant for plain living and high thinking. Since all conditioned living beings are under the control of Lord's third energy, this material world is designed so that one is obliged to work. The Supreme Personality of Godhead has 3 primary energies or potencies. The first is called Antaranga Shakti or the internal potency. The second is called Tatastha Shakti or the marginal potency. The third is called Bahiranga Shakti or the external potency. The living entities constitute the marginal potency and they are situated between the internal and the external potencies. Being subordinate as eternal servants of Supreme Personality of Godhead, the Jiva Atmas or atomic living entities must remain under the control of either the internal or external potency. When they are under the control of internal potency, they display their natural constitutional activity, namely constant engagement in the devotional service of the Lord. This is stated in Bhagavad Gita 9.13. Mahatmanas tu mam.
Your voice is going in and out, Vidisha Mataji.
Okay.
Can you please check if your mic is...
Okay, is it audible, Mataji?
Yes, now is good. Yes.
Mahatmanas tu mam partha daivam prakritim arshita bhajante anyana manaso gyatva bhutadim avyayam. O son of Partha, those who are not deluded, the great souls, are under the protection of the divine nature. They are fully engaged in devotional service because they know me as the Supreme Personality of Godhead, original and inexhaustible. The word Mahatma refers to those who are broad-minded, not cripple-minded. Open-minded persons, always engaged in satisfying their senses, sometimes expand their activities in order to do good for others through some ism like nationalism, humanitarianism, or altruism. They may reject personal sense gratification for the sense gratification of others, like the members of their family, community, or society, either national or international. Actually, all this is extended sense gratification, from personal to communal to social. This may all be very good from material point of view, but such activities have no spiritual value. The basis of such activity is sense gratification, either personal or extended. Only when a person gratifies the senses of Supreme Lord can he be called a Mahatma or a broad-minded person.
Yeah, let's take a pause.
Hare
Mataji.
Krishna,
Thank you.
Mataji. Hare Krishna.
So nicely read. Thank you. So all conditioned beings are under the control of Lord's third energy. So we have discussed this, right? Antaranga Shakti, Bahiranga Shakti, and Tathastha Shakti. Antaranga Shakti is internal potency, under which Krishna's devotional service is going on. Bahiranga Shakti is external potency, which is Bhumi, Apollo, Anayor, Vayur, Man, Mano, Buddhi, Revacha. 8th chapter Bhagavad Gita, Krishna talks about it. And Tathastha Shakti is on the margin, which we are. We can go inside or outside, remain outside. We can play with the matter, or we can go inside and do devotional service to Krishna. So we are constitutionally Jivatma, part and parcel of Krishna. So constitutionally, the natural inclination is Krishna consciousness. Nectar of Devotion, Rupa Goswami Prabhupada explains it very nicely. Rupa Goswami Prabhupada explains, like when a baby starts to walk, right? The walking tendency is there in the child. Just needs a little bit of a practice, and with the time, it starts to walk on its own. But if a child is born with no walking tendency, no matter how much practice we put them through, they won't be able to walk. So Krishna consciousness is inherent in us, like that tendency to walk in a child is inherited, right? So we just need a little bit of a practice here and there, and then we regain it. That is why we feel so light. If somebody chants Hare Krishna, practices devotional service, read Bhagavatam, first thing that happens, there are 6 things that happen. But first thing that happens is Kleshagni. Kleshagni means disappearance of the material miseries. Why does it happen? Even if somebody is chanting with full offenses, Nam Aparad, but first thing that happens is Kleshagni. Person feels miseries of material existence are disappearing. Why does it happen? Because chanting is our constitutional right. Constitutionally, we are used to serving Krishna. Conditionally, we have forgotten that, but little bit of a refinement here and there will help us. That is why we need practice of Krishna consciousness under bona fide spiritual master. Okay, so that's what is discussed here. Antaranga, Bahiranga, and Tathastha. Tathastha Shakti is where we are. What is the meaning of the word Tathastha? Who's going to tell me? We have discussed it. What is the meaning of the word Tathastha? Nobody? Vandana Mataji? Sita Mataji? Yes, Mataji.
Hare Krishna Mataji. It's a land which is very close to the river, sometimes underwater and sometimes not.
Yes, so Tatha, yes, very nice. So Tatha is like a shore or bank of a river. Sometimes that piece of land is covered by water. Sometimes it is not covered by water. So what is its original position? Covered by water or uncovered by water? Both, because it's on the margin. Okay, so that is the meaning of the word Tathastha. So we are sitting on the margin. I have an independence to choose whether I want to serve Krishna or whether I don't want to serve Krishna. I'm completely independent in that. Okay, so Krishna says in 9th chapter 13 verse, one who is Mahatma will surrender unto me, is situated in the internal potency. Mahatma nastu mam partha devim prakritim ashritaha. The great souls are under the protection of the divine nature. So anyone who is engaged in Krishna consciousness sincerely, under the shelter of a bona fide spiritual master, then they are not acting under external energy anymore. They're not acting under external energy anymore. It appears, the activities of Krishna consciousness appear that they are ordinary human beings engaged in working with matter, but they are not. Because what is Rupa Goswami Prabhupada's principle for renunciation? Chapter 3 and chapter 5 Bhagavad Gita we discussed. What is Rupa Goswami Prabhupada's principle of renunciation? Anybody? Should we take karma sannyas or should we do karma yoga? Vandana Mataji? Yes, Mataji, go ahead. Vandana Mataji, go ahead and you can unmute.
Mataji, Yukta Vairagya.
Very nice. Please explain it. What does it mean?
Everything, we can use everything for the service of Krishna and reject everything which is against the wish of Krishna.
So Yukta, thank you Mataji. Yukta Vairagya Uchyate means Prapanchika. So what it means is that we can use something for Krishna's service, then that thing is no more matter. That thing is spiritual. Spirit, it becomes spiritual. Why? Because it is used for Krishna's service. Prabhupada gives example of a microphone. Microphone is matter, but when it is used to serve and talk about Krishna, it is no more a matter. It is spiritual because it is used in service of a spiritual Supreme Personality of Godhead. So this is a very revolutionary verse because Prabhupada does write that people think that people who are very philanthropist, nationalist, altruistic, they are magnanimous. They have very big heart. They are Mahatma. But according to scriptures, they are not Mahatma. They are cripple-minded. Why are they cripple-minded? Because they are not serving Krishna. How are they not serving Krishna? There is such a common saying that I've been hearing in my classes nowadays, which I never heard before. Is that, what is it? Manav Seva is Madhav Seva. So Manav Seva is Madhav Seva is not Mahatma. That's cripple-minded because the consciousness is important. Okay, it's not, the service doesn't need to be stopped. The service has to be done in a proper consciousness. And the consciousness, if it is not aligned with the service of Krishna, then it is not Mahatma. Simple. There is no confusion. Shastras don't confuse. They don't talk like maybe, probably, perhaps. No. Direct. Okay. This all may be very good from material point of view, but such activities have no spiritual value. That person may be very pious, may at the most get elevated to heavenly planets, but is not going back to Krishna. Very two different things. Going to entering the city and entering the palace of a king are two different things. So entering the city, one may become very pious and one may become associate of devotees in the heavenly planets, but that is different than entering the palace or Goloka, Vrindavan or Vaikuntha. This is the statement in Nectar of Devotion when Rupa Goswami Prabhupada describes the details of devotional service. Okay, so we can go ahead. Sri Lakshmi, you wanted to read, right? Where are you? Sri Lakshmi, you can unmute yourself.
Hello.
Hi, Krishna.
Hare Krishna. I should read from in the above quote verse, right?
Yes, Mataji.
In the above quoted verse from Bhagavad Gita, the words Daivim Prakritim refer to the control of the internal potency or pleasure potency of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. This pleasure potency is manifested as Srimad Radharani or her expression Lakshmi, the goddess of fortune. When the individual Jiva souls are under the control of the internal energy, their only engagement is the satisfaction of Krishna or Vishnu. This is the position of Mahatma. If one is not a Mahatma, he is a Duratma or a cripple-minded person. Such mentally crippled Duratmas are put under the control of the Lord's external potency, Mahamaya. Indeed, all living entities within this material world are under the control of Mahamaya, whose business is to subject them to the influence of threefold miseries: Adi Daivika Klesha, sufferings caused by the demigods, such as droughts, earthquakes, and storms; Adi Bhautika Klesha, sufferings caused by the other living entities like insects or enemies; and Adhyatmika Klesha, sufferings caused by one's own mind and body, such as mental and physical infirmities. Daiva Bhautatma Hetava. The conditioned souls subjected to these three miseries by the control of the external energy suffer various difficulties. The main problem confronting the conditioned soul is the repetition of birth, old age, disease, and death. In the material world, one has to work for the maintenance of the body and soul. But how can one perform such work in a way that is favorable for the execution of Krishna consciousness? Everyone requires possessions such as food grains, clothing, money, and other things necessary for the maintenance of the body. But one should not collect more than necessary for his actual basic needs. If this natural principle is followed, there will be no difficulty in maintaining the body. According to the nature's arrangement, living entities lower on the evolutionary scale do not eat or collect more than necessary. Consequently, in the animal kingdom, there is generally no economic problem or scarcity of necessities. If a bag of rice is placed in a public place, birds will come to eat a few grains and go away. A human being, however, will take away the whole bag. He will eat all his stomach, can hold, and then try to keep the rest in storage. According to scriptures, this collecting of more than necessary, atyahara, is prohibited. Now, the entire world is suffering because of it. Collecting and eating more than necessary also causes prayasa, or unnecessary endeavor. By God's arrangement, anyone in any part of the world can live very peacefully if he has some land and a milk cow. There is no need for a man to move from place to another to earn a livelihood. For one can produce food grains locally and get milk from cows. That can solve all economic problems. Fortunately, man has been given higher intelligence for the civilization of Krishna consciousness, or cultivation of Krishna consciousness, or the understanding of God, one's relationship with him, and the ultimate goal of life, love of God. Unfortunately, so-called civilized man, not caring for God realization, utilizes his intelligence to get more than necessary and simply eat to satisfy the tongue. By God's arrangement, there is sufficient scope for the production of milk and grains for human beings all over the world. But instead of using his higher intelligence to cultivate God consciousness, so-called intelligent men misuse their intelligence to produce many unnecessary and unwanted things. Thus, factories, slaughterhouses, brothels, and liquor shops are opened. If people are advised not to collect too many goods, eat too much, or work unnecessarily to possess artificial amenities, they think they are being advised to return to a primitive way of life. Generally, people do not like to accept plain living and high thinking. That is their unfortunate position.
Thank you, Mataji. So, thank you so much. So, because of the Bahiranga Shakti, and we are allured by this latter, we are influenced by these, by Mahamaya, or which leads to three types of kleshas. Kleshas means misgivings, which are Adidevik, Adibhautik, and Adhyatmik. So Adidevik is because of the devtas, the demigods. Adibhautik is because of other living entities. Sorry, Adhyatmik is because of one's own body and mind. These are the reasons. Why are we affected by all this? Because we are recognizing oneself with the the body and mind. recognizing oneself as a product of this matter. Okay, and the main problem is repetition of birth, death, old age, disease. This we discussed yesterday also. We keep these problems on the side and we try to solve, like, all these Adi Bhautik, Adi Devik and Adhyatmic problems in the front, day to day, day to day, day to day. Where was I reading? The life is full of questions and answers. Yesterday only I was reading that the life is full of questions and answers. Like even a child, we are asking, even birds, Prabhupada was writing, questions and answers, questions and answers. So some ask a question, even the bird is asking question, where is my food? The same bird when comes back to the house in the evening is again asking questions, what will I do tomorrow? A human being is also asking questions. We are actually doing this. We are answering our questions or asking questions. But no one is asking the ultimate question. Why do I have to die? Why do I have to grow old? Why do I have to get diseased? And why do I have to take birth? Because we don't have a solution, so we put them on the side. That's called procrastination. But that's not going to help. It's not going to help. We have to face it. Okay, so the first two niyamagrahas, first two prohibitions are atyahara prayascha. Atyahara, Prabhupada is explaining, collecting more than necessary or eating more than necessary. Prayascha means unnecessary endeavor. Because if one wants to have a lot of money, then they automatically will have to do some more endeavor. Right? Or if one wants to eat a lot, then they have to automatically collect a lot of food. So atyahara, either eating more or collecting more, will lead to prayasa, both hand in hand. Because this is material world. I cannot have just by sitting and desiring, Krishna give me food and food is walking in my door. No, I still have to work for it. So that is leading to waste of time. A devotee who's chanting Hare Krishna can actually see where the time is wasted, where the time is sitting. People say that there is no time to chant 16 rounds. But actually, we have time. 24 hours are more than sufficient to do chanting of 16 rounds. But we are wasting time. And the thing is that we are bewildered. We don't even think we are wasting time. We think that this is what I'm doing is a normal life routine. And why should I chant 16 rounds a day? But this is the unfortunate position. Why do we want to live an unfortunate life? Why? When I have an opportunity to live the most auspicious way of life, why will I live unfortunate life? Okay, can we go ahead? Any questions so far? I would like to finish this chapter. First 3 chapters are a little big. Dyuti Mataji, go ahead. Please read.
Hare Krishna, Mataji.
Hare Krishna.
Mataji, should I start from human life?
Yes, I think this is the one. Yes.
Okay, Mataji. Human life is meant for God realization, and the human being is given higher intelligence for this purpose. Those who believe that this higher intelligence is meant to attain a higher state should follow the instructions of the Vedic literatures. By taking such instructions from higher authorities, one can actually become situated in perfect knowledge and give real meaning to life. In Srimad Bhagavatam 1.2.9, Sri Suta Goswami describes the proper dharma in this way. Dharmasya hi apavaragyasya nartho rityo pakalpate narthasya dharmai kantasya kamo labhya hi smritah. All occupational engagements, dharma, are certainly meant for ultimate liberation. They should never be performed for material gain. Furthermore, one who is engaged in the ultimate occupational service, dharma, should never use material gain to cultivate sense gratification. The first in human civilization consists of occupational engagements performed according to the scriptural injunctions. The higher intelligence of a human being should be trained
To understand basic dharma of
Yeah, to understand basic dharma. In human society, there are various religious conceptions characterized as Hindu, Christian, Hebrew, Mohammedan, Buddhist, and so on. For without religion, human society is no better than animal society. As stated above, dharmasya hi apa dharmasya hi apavargasya nartho Rityopakalpate. Religion is meant for attaining emancipation, not for getting bread. Sometimes human society manufactures a system of so-called religion aimed at material advancement. But that is far from the purpose of true dharma. Religion entails understanding the laws of God because the proper execution of these laws ultimately leads one out of material entanglement. That is the true purpose of religion. Unfortunately, people accept religion for material prosperity because of atyahara or an excessive desire for such prosperity. True religion, however, instructs people to be satisfied with the bare necessities of life while cultivating Krishna consciousness. Even though we require economic development, true religion allows it only for supplying the bare necessities of material existence. Jivasya tattva
jigyasa.
jigyasa, the real purpose of life is to inquire about the absolute truth. If our endeavor, prayasa, is not to inquire about the absolute truth, we will simply increase our endeavor to satisfy our artificial needs. A spiritual aspirant should avoid mundane endeavor.
Yep. Thank you, Mataji. Let's go over it.
Thank you, Mataji. Hare
So
Krishna.
nice. So the meaning of human life is to understand self and to understand the relationship between the self and Krishna. That is the only meaning. There is no other meaning. Can you imagine, like, you read any shastras, I am on 7th canto Srimad Bhagavatam. I was reading last night 11th chapter. Narad Muni is explaining the society divisions, 4 divisions of the society orders. So in that, there are so many duties given for a person who is a Kshatriya, person who is a Brahmana, person who is a Vaishya, person who is a Shudra. For a woman, a chaste woman, how she behaves. How does she behave if her husband is not is a mlecha? How does she behave at that? So these things are written, but nowhere it is written that go and open a factory and work. Everywhere the goal is to become Krishna conscious. You do this so that you can become Krishna conscious like this. But we have manufactured all these things in our life and wasting time over there. So dharmasya hi apavargasya na artho arthayo apakalpate na arthasya dharma hi kantasya kamo labhya hi smritaha. This is a very nice verse. There are 2 words, pavarga and apavarga. So dharmasya hi apavargasya. The real meaning of dharma is to attain the liberation from material world. Na artho upakalpate. The not, na means not. Artha means accumulating material assets. Not, the meaning of dharma is not to accumulate material assets. And they should never be performed. The dharma should never be performed because of this gain, because I want some material thing. Na arthasya hi dharma ekantasya. Na arthasya dharma hi ekantasya means the only purpose of executing the religious principle is liberation. Na artha means not to gain material asset. Kamo labhya hi smritaha, and should never be used to cultivate sense gratification. So first 2 lines describe what is the meaning of dharma, and next 2 lines explain the execution of the dharma. It's a very nice verse. Prabhupada gives a very nice lecture on this. He explains what is pavarga, what is apavarga, and what are the different syllables in Sanskrit. Pa, fa, bha. He explains all these things. When somebody gets very tired in material world, their tongue gets dried up. Okay, and foam comes out of the mouth sometimes. He writes He speaks also. That's fa. He explains each and every word. Pa, fa, bha, ma. And what is the meaning of it? It's a very detailed verse. But what is the real meaning? That one must execute the religious principles, but not for gaining any material gain. Not for that. Then for what? For liberation from the material world. But Vedic knowledge is so flowery that actually there are 4 things described there, right? Dharma, Artha, Kama, Moksha. So there also it is said Dharma first, then Artha next. There so Dharma and then Artha. And when one gets frustrated, then Dharma, Artha, Kama. Or when gets Artha, then one can satisfy their lusty desires. But when one gets disgusted or tired of doing this, then one aims for liberation. So that is for a person who's very much attached to the material world. But for a devotee, the direct process is do dharma so that you can become Krishna conscious, bypass the middle steps. Am I sounding very complicated? Am I audible? Am I understood?
Yes, Mataji, it's proper.
Okay. Thank you. So religion means understanding the laws of God. Religion doesn't mean labeling oneself with a cult. Everything else is a cult. Like Hinduism, Buddhism, Mohammedan, Christian. It's a cult to follow the laws of God. The laws of God are same everywhere. And there's different ways. For example, if somebody wants to become a doctor, there are so many medical colleges. Right? There's so many medical colleges, and one college will differ a little bit in their curriculum from the other college. But at the end, everyone who's going in and coming out is given a title of a doctor. Like that, there are different channels of understanding the religion of God because there are so many varieties of desires. But the ultimate goal should be the love of God. It doesn't matter whether it's following Christian religion. One Mataji who was attending my Understand Gita December classes, she said, whoever is there from that class may remember. She said, I'm the follower of Christianity, but after attending these classes, I am able to read Bible even better. So I was really touched by her statement because this is the real understanding of Krishna consciousness. And the real purpose of life is to inquire, who am I? So far we discussed Atyahara, which is overeating or over collecting. Prayas means over endeavoring. And then Niyamagraha. So now we are going to talk about Prajalpa. Prajalpa is unnecessary talking. Is everyone following the thing? Because we only discussed 2 things so far, Atyahara and Prayas. And in Atyahara, we discussed that according to nature's arrangement, every living entity has its stock of food grains or stock of goods as assets given for them. But a human being has a tendency to accept more and more. Animal will not do that. Prayas means these are over endeavoring for material assets. But one should aim for accepting what is a need and not what is a want. Can we go ahead to Prajalpa? That's the 3rd thing. Prajalpa or unnecessary talking. This is very nice. Sapna, you can go ahead.
Hare Krishna, Mataji.
Hare Krishna.
Another impediment is Prajalpa, unnecessary talking. When we mix with a few friends, we immediately begin unnecessary talking, sounding just like croaking toads. If we must talk, we should talk about Krishna consciousness movement. Those outside of the Krishna consciousness movement are interested in reading heaps of newspaper, magazines and novels, solving crossword puzzles and doing many other nonsensical things. In this fashion, people simply waste their valuable time and energy. In the Western countries, old men retired from active life play cards, fish, watch television and debate about useless socio-political schemes. All these and other
Frivolous activities are included in the Prajalpa category. Intelligent persons interested in Krishna consciousness should never take part in such activities.
Okay, go ahead. Jana Sangha.
Jana Sangha refers to associating with persons not interested in Krishna consciousness. One should strictly avoid such association. Srila Narottama Dasa Thakura has therefore advised us to live only in the association of Krishna consciousness devotee. Bhaktasane Vasa. One should always engage in the service of the Lord in the association of Lord's devotees. Association with those engaged in a similar line of business is very conducive to advancement in that business. Consequently, materialistic persons form various associations and clubs to enhance their endeavors. For example, in the business world, we find such institutions as a stock exchange and chamber of commerce. Similarly, we have established an International Society for Krishna Consciousness to give people an opportunity to associate with those who have not forgotten Krishna. This spiritual association offered by our ISKCON movement is increasing day by day. Many people from different parts of the world are joining this society to awaken their dormant Krishna consciousness. Srila Bhakti Siddhanta.
1 second. So, so Prajalpa means unnecessary talking, which includes so many other things. Just not talking, but reading unnecessary newspaper, magazine, novels, crossword puzzle, nonsensical things. And Jana Sangha means associating with people who are not interested in Krishna consciousness. That is actually a Namaparad, number 9. 9th offense to the holy name of the Lord is to instruct the faithless person regarding the glories of the holy name. So when we go out to preach, that is an important thing one must remember. We are not associating with them. We are giving them our association. Two different things. I am not going out and sitting with the world so that I am associating or I am hearing their matters in confidence. I am giving them food. They are giving me food and we are exchanging gifts. No, we don't do that. These are the 6 principles of association. We give them our association. We take prasadam, we give them. We take books, we gift it to them. We talk to them about Krishna. We don't take the other way. Yes, we talk. We don't say that, okay, we're not going to talk to you, but we don't absorb and sit on it and chew the thing. No, we still remain detached because my Krishna consciousness is the most important thing for me. And so should be for all of you. What is the verse? Nate vidu swarthagatim hi Vishnu. The most selfish thing a living entity can do for themselves, which is most elevating, is to have the goal of Vishnu. Each one has to have this selfish motive that I want to understand what is Krishna in this life. And around that, we develop actually compassion for all of them. You know, if I'm going to preach a person who's smoking marijuana, I went to the Boston marijuana, what is that? Hemp Fest to distribute books, which was a marijuana festival. Yes, I was there with the devotees and distributing books, but I was not smoking actively. You know, I'm not associating, okay, here I am to distribute books with you. Here, you give me some of your marijuana to smoke. No. And I am very clear about it. So each one of us has to be very clear that why are we going and what are we doing. Okay, so again, the verse is, So we discussed Atyahara, we discussed Prayasas, we discussed Prajalpa, we discussed Jana Sangas, and we discussed the greed. So these all things will lead to the greed. But Bhakti Siddhanta Prabhupada Anuvritti translation will tell us more. Who would like to read? NRM. NRM, yes, Mataji, go. Or
Neha.
Oh, oh my God, Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Okay, I will read. Srila Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur writes in his Anuvritti commentary that too much endeavor to acquire knowledge on the part of mental speculators or dry philosophers falls within the category of Atyahara, collecting more than needed. According to Srimad Bhagavatam, the endeavor of philosophical speculators to write volumes of books on dry philosophy devoid of Krishna consciousness is entirely futile. The work of Kar- Karmis, who writes volumes of books on economic development, also fans within the category of Atyahara. Similarly, those who have no desire for Krishna consciousness and who are simply interested in possessing more and more material things, either in the shape of scientific knowledge or monetary gains, are all included under the control of Atyahara. Karmis labor to accumulate more and more money for future generations only because they do not know their future position. Interested only in getting more and more money for their sons and grandsons, such foolish persons do not even know what their position is going to be in the next life. There are many incidents that illustrate this point. Once a great Karmi accumulated a vast fortune for his sons and grandsons, but later, according to his karma, he took his birth in a cobbler's house located near the building which in his previous life he had constructed for his children. It so happened that when this very cobbler came to his former house, his former sons and grandsons beat him with shoes. Unless the Karmis and Jnanis become interested in Krishna consciousness, they will simply continue to waste their life in fruitless activities. Accepting some of the scriptural rules and regulations for immediate benefit as utilitarian advocate is called Niyam Agraha, and neglecting the rules and regulations of the Shastras, which are meant for spiritual development, is called Niyam Agraha. The word Agraha means eagerness to accept, and Agraha means failure to accept. By the addition of either of these two words to the word Niyam, rules and regulations, the word Niyamagraha is formed. Thus, Niyamagraha has a twofold meaning that is understood according to the particular combination of words. Those interested in Krishna consciousness should not be eager to accept rules and regulations for economic advancement. Yet they should very faithfully accept scriptural rules and regulations for the advancement of Krishna consciousness. They should strictly follow the regulative principles by avoiding illicit sex, meat eating, gambling, and intoxication. One should also avoid association with Mayavadis who simply blaspheme Vaishnavas, devotees, Bhakti Kamis who are interested in material happiness, Mukti Kamis who desire liberation by merging in the existence of the formless absolute Brahman, the Siddhi Kamis who desire the perfection of mystic yoga practice are classified as Atyaharis. To associate with such persons is not at all desirable. Desire to expand the mind by perfecting mystic yoga, merging in the existence of Brahman, or attaining whimsical material prosperity are all included within the category of greed, lolya. All attempts to acquire such material benefits or so-called spiritual advancement are impediments on the path of Krishna consciousness.
Yeah, let's wait, Mataji. Too many things Prabhupada said. Thank you so much. So, Atyahara, what we discussed before was Prabhupada was saying two things, right? Atyahara means overeating or over-endeavoring, or collecting more than necessary, or eating more than necessary. But here, Bhaktisiddhanta Prabhupada, Srila Prabhupada's guru, in his Anuvritti commentary, is expanding the realm of Atyahara. So, first two things were simple. One is overeating or over-collecting. But Bhaktisiddhanta Prabhupada is saying that anyone who is actually over-endeavoring to accumulate more and more philosophical knowledge, or writing books based on the speculation, is also under the category of Atyahara. Okay, and also accumulate more money for future generations is also Atyahara, which Srila Prabhupada also wrote. Okay, and Prabhupada is writing the story of a person who opened a very big house, was very rich, died, and next life became a cobbler next to the big mansion that he had built, and his former relatives beat him up with the shoes. So it's very important that rather than worrying about the future generation, some amount of worry is okay, but future 10 generations, like some people worry about future 10 generation, what is going to happen to my 10th generation, 3rd generation. We have to worry about ourselves too. So otherwise we are wasting time in the fruitless activities. So those are the other things. Then Niyamagraha. Okay, so Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Prabhupada added accumulating on accumulating more overeating. He also added endeavoring for endeavor of philosophical speculators to write volumes of book on dry philosophy devoid of Krishna consciousness. And actually it also means reading too many books. Atyahara also means reading too many books. Then person becomes confused, they cannot come to the verdict. And the next principle is Niyamagraha. Niyamagraha, Srila Prabhupada is describing, has two meanings. Agraha and Agraha. When there is a roof on the top of an alphabet, it becomes Agraha. Like, I don't know how to say in English, but Bada Agraha. And when there is no roof, it is Agraha. So Niyam Agraha and Niyam Agraha. Agraha means eagerness to accept, and Agraha means failure to accept. So somebody who is very enthusiastic to accept the scriptural rules and regulations, that's Agraha. And somebody who is averse to following the rules and regulations is Agraha. Both are not needed. Both are under the category of Atyahara. Okay. So those interested in Krishna consciousness should not be eager to accept rules and regulations for economic development. Yet they should follow faithfully. Very faithfully accept scriptural rules and regulations for the advancement of Krishna consciousness. So the 4 regulatory principles Srila Prabhupada gave, if one follows those 4 regulatory principles to the utmost sincerity, then it is Agraha. Then they are eager to accept, not Niyamagraha. They're not rejecting. Okay, but there is a clause there. So just accepting the rules and regulation for the sake of accepting and not for the sake of advancement in Krishna consciousness is also against devotional service. Just doing it because I just have to do it, but without a proper understanding, without a conviction, is not going to help, is not going to reap the benefit of developing love for Krishna. So one has to understand why we are accepting these rules and regulations for their own self. Otherwise, first of all, they will not be able to stick to it also if there is no meaning attached. And also, Atyahara also includes, this is very interesting, Bhukti Kami. Bhukti Kami means who wants to be Bhokta, means who wants to enjoy. Means I do an activity and I become, and because I did it, so I enjoy the fruit of the activity. That is Bhukti Kami. Mukti Kami means who is fed up of material enjoyment and wants liberation. That is also a desire, wants liberation. Siddhi Kami means perfection of mystic yoga practice. There are 8 kinds of siddhis, and a Siddhi Kami wants to have those perfections. They are also classified as Atyaharas. So we don't associate with such people as well. So nice, right? So detailed. So far we discussed Atyahara, different components which are added to Atyahara. And then we also discussed Niyam Agraha and Niyam Agraha. And Prabhupada now talks about Lalya. Lalya means greed. That desire to expand the mind for perfecting mystic yoga, merging in the existence of Brahman, or attaining whimsical material prosperity are all including within the category of greed. So 3 things. Perfecting mystic yoga, or merging into Brahman, or whimsical material prosperity are in the category of Lalya. Okay, we can go ahead. Who would like to read? Tanvi Mataji, please go ahead. We are almost done. Then I will present a summary slides. Mataji, go ahead.
Okay, Mataji. Modern warfare waged between capitalist and communist is due to their avoiding the advice of Srila Rupa Goswami regarding Atyahara. Modern capitalists accumulate more wealth than necessary, and the communists, envious of their prosperity, want to nationalize all wealth and property. Unfortunately, the communists do not know how to solve the problem of wealth and its distribution. Consequently, when the wealth of the capitalist falls into the hands of the communist, no solution results. Opposed to these two philosophies, the Krishna conscious ideology states that all wealth belongs to Krishna. Thus, unless all wealth comes under the administration of Krishna, there can be no solution to the economic problem of mankind. Nothing can be solved by placing wealth in the hands of the communists or the capitalists. If a $100 bill is lying on the street, someone may pick it up and put it in his pocket. Such a man is not honest. Another man may see the money and decide to let it remain there, thinking that he should not touch another's property. Although this second man does not steal the money for his own purposes, he is unaware of its proper use. The third man who sees the $100 bill may pick it up, find the man who lost it and deliver it to him. This man does not steal the money to spend for himself, nor does he neglect it and let it lie in the street. By taking it and delivering it to the man who has lost it, this man is both honest and wise. Simply transferring wealth from capitalist to communist cannot solve the problem of modern politics. For it has been demonstrated that when a communist gets money, he uses it for his own sense gratification. The wealth of the world actually belongs to Krishna, and every living entity, man and animal, has the birthright to use God's property for his maintenance. When one takes more than his maintenance requires, be he a capitalist or a communist, he is a thief, and as such he is liable to be punished by the laws of nature. The wealth of the world should be used for the welfare of all living entities, for that is the plan of Mother Nature. Everyone has the right to live by utilizing the wealth of the Lord. When people learn the art of scientifically utilizing the Lord's property, they will no longer encroach upon one another's right. Then an ideal society can be formed. The basic principle for such a spiritual society is stated in the first mantra of Sri Ishopanishad. Isha Vashyam Idam Sarvam Yat Kincha Jagatyam Jagat Tena Tyaktena Bhunjita Magradha Kasya Swit Dhanam. Everything animate or inanimate that is within the universe is controlled and owned by the Lord. One should therefore accept only those things necessary for himself, which are set aside as his quota, and should not accept others' things, knowing well to whom they belong. Krishna conscious devotees know very well that this material world is designed by the complete arrangement of the Lord to fulfill all the necessities of life for all living beings without their having to encroach upon the life or rights of one another. This complete arrangement affords the proper quota of wealth for everyone according to his real needs, and thus everyone may live peacefully according to the principle of plain living and high thinking. Unfortunately, materialists who have neither faith in the plan of God nor any aspiration for higher spiritual development misuse their God-given intelligence only to augment their material possessions. They devise many systems such as capitalism and materialistic communism to advance their material position. They are not interested in the laws of God or in a higher goal, always anxious to fulfill their unlimited desires for sense gratification. They are conspicuous by their ability to exploit their fellow living beings. When human society gives up these elementary faults enumerated by Srila Rupa Goswami, Atyahara, etc., all enmity will cease between men and animals, capitalist and communist, and so forth. In addition, all problems of economic or political maladjustment and instability will be solved. This pure consciousness is awakened by the proper spiritual education and practice offered scientifically by the Krishna conscious movement. The Krishna consciousness movement offers a spiritual community that can bring about a peaceful condition in the world. Every intelligent man should purify his consciousness and rid himself of the above mentioned 6 hindrances to devotional service by taking wholehearted shelter of this Krishna conscious movement.
Krishna consciousness movement. Thank you, Mataji. Very nice. So we discussed Atyahara, we discussed Laulyam, and also Atyahara. Prabhupada goes on. Modern capitalists and communists, they are fighting, right? Capitalist is very interested in increasing their own assets, and communist says no, we have to publicize this. We are going to equally distribute it. When I was a resident, I had some people from Cuba. So one of my senior was from Cuba. She used to tell us that in Cuba, everybody is paid the same salary. If somebody is an auto rickshaw driver and somebody is a neurosurgeon, everybody is paid the same. People are not happy. They're not happy, but it's a communist country. Everybody is getting same kind of things. So we will think that they will be happy, but no. Or Canada, the medical system is same for everyone. It's free of cost for everybody. Every Canadian citizen has equal right. There is no money. There is no money lewd on a person when they go to the hospital. It's free of cost. But are the people happy? No. Are the doctors happy? No. I know so many people there that they are they're saying that first of all, it leads to a lot of wait list for procedures. Because everyone is coming at any time. And second, there are a lot of taxes lewd. People who are paid more, they have to pay a lot more taxes than other rest of the world. So even if we want to have communist idea or capitalist idea or a mixture of two, somewhat capitalist, somewhat communist, nowhere they're becoming happy. Why? Because they're not living the life according to Ishavasya principle. This is a very important mantra. Ishavashyam idam sarvam. No. That this universe is controlled and owned by only one person, and that is the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Krishna. Everything belongs to him. Everything. He's the only owner. Only. Bhoktaram Yagana Tabasam Sarva Loka Maheshwaram. No confusion. He's the only proprietor. Okay. Yat kincha jagat avyam jagat. Tena tak tena bhunjita ma grida kasya swit dhanam. Everything animate or inanimate that is within the universe is controlled and owned by the Lord. One should therefore accept only those things necessary for himself, which are set aside as his quota, and should not accept other things, knowing well to whom they belong. But if one forbids this principle of Ishavashyam, then it is called Stena Evasa Ujjate. That person is called as a thief. That I am trying to do more and more. What will be able to do more and more? So Srila Prabhupada used to say, hand over the government to us. We'll tell you how to rule nicely. Okay, so Prabhupada went with Krishna consciousness movements everywhere. He did not stop. Like, hand over the movement, hand over the government to ISKCON. Russia got scared. My Guru Maharaj was telling. 2016, they started this festival in Russia. I'm forgetting the name. Where they don't have temple because communist country, right? But so many devotees in Russia, all Russians, more than 8,000 people came for Harinam, the festival that was arranged. My Guru Maharaj was there as well. So he was saying more than 8,000 people came. So we got a word from Russian government. Watch out. What are you guys doing? Don't grow too powerful. So they got scared. Now Russia is going to have a temple by Krishna's grace, because Krishna is the supreme proprietor and Prabhupada took ISKCON everywhere. So these are the principles. I will give a summary in the slides. Mataji, we can stop recording. Thank you.